Hey, greetings there, everyone. It's GleeCon, and I'm back again, bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, as we continued our World of Warcraft Classic walkthrough, we took Glee Console here, and she's recently hit level 10. And since we are covering anything and everything, we really spent most of the time, pretty much all of the time, covering the level 10 class quests. We did most of them, but we still have some more to do today, so that's going to take up most of the ep today, so stay a while and listen as we jump into another one of those. We'll try to walk around a little bit with the shaman as well. If we have time, we'll do the level 10 shaman questline, which is all about the Call of the Fire. So let's look at the spreadsheet and see where we're at with our class quests. So we did hunters, we did mages. We don't have to do paladins. We did priests. So we have rogues, warlocks, and warriors to hopefully get through today. So we're going to start with the road to salvation. Now, the reason why it looks like there are so many rogue quests is because the rogue quests, unlike most of the other class quests, are not mutually exclusive. So a lot of the times, if you pick up, say, for not priests are race specific, but let's say you picked up, I don't know, one of these other ones like Juju Heaps, it would lock out the Balnir Farmstead version. So rogues don't do that. You can, as long as you are either Horde or Alliance, you can complete multiple paths. So we're going to start with Road to Salvation, which is the Ironforge rogue, the Dwarf Rogue path. Okay, and we're going to follow that path to its conclusion. It says Burning Crusade Classic, but okay. There we go. Okay, so you pick this one up in whatchamacallit, the Karanos. After another lost soul looking for guidance, eh? I suppose you want to find a purpose. Your purpose. I've seen it 1,000 times. Another hero looking for work. Well, today is your lucky day, friend. Horgol's got the cure for your ailment. Here's what you do. Take this road here up to Ironforge and make your way to the Forlorn Cavern. Once there, locate the Thieves Guild and speak with Hulfdan Blackbeard. He'll put you on the road to salvation. Now, it unlocks all of these others, but notice it unlocks SI7, which is the human version. It disables Seek Out SI7 in the Apple Falls. But it's only disabling some pieces of it. When you complete this quest, it says, so you think you're a right scoundrel destined to be one of Blackbeard's chosen few, an officer of the Hidden Circle. Only a good-for-nothing scallywag would think so highly of himself. That's exactly what we'd be looking for. Welcome aboard. All right, so if you look here, this path takes us through Simple Subterfuge and Onin's Report. So it's a 3-quest line. You see, the king be strip mining the quarry for ore and gems, more riches than any one dwarf should see in 10 lifetimes. The Hidden Circle has values. We value valuables. Can you understand? Now, we feels the king should be sharing some of that booty, but we don't want old Stinkbeard to know he's sharing, if you catch my drift. We need you to speak with Orin McHammer over by Nomergon and bring back a report. The crafty dwarf has hidden himself amongst the lepers. Be careful. And he's like up on this tower kind of thing, but in the leper gnome area, stealthed. Shh. Keep it down, you daft fool. They'll hear us. And Onin's report says. And now we could read Onin's report, possibly. Let's look and see what that says. It doesn't really give us anything. Okay. This is how you get your Blade of Cunning. So you can complete this quest and get more than one Blade of Cunning. However, you cannot equip more than one at a time. So it's just if you wanted a couple of those silver and XP. The quarry, yep. I see those monstrous armored steam tanks come by this post near every day. My contacts to the east tell me that the tanks starts off at Ironforge, makes a pickup at the Gold Bowler quarry, stops over at Karanos to refuel, and then for some blasted reason it takes the long way round past Nomergon before reaching Ironforge to drop off the shipment. It's all in the report, dwarf. Take it back to Hofdun so he can plan the next step, or whatever race you are. Did ye enjoy the stench of leper gnome? I only ask because you got a crazy smile on your face. What news do you bring from Onin? Long route, in the name of me own beard, you done good. Take this dagger and be gone with you. The circle will call upon ye again. When step 3, be ready to be set in motion. What's step 3? It comes right after step 2. Me boot up your backside. Interested? Okay. So that gives us the Ironforge path. Now, if we wanted to do the Stormwind path, because that's what it is, not tied to race, it's tied into what capital you pick up. So seek out SI7 is the quest we want to look at here. So seek out SI7 opens up all of these. Now this is a breadcrumb only that would take you into Stormwind. It's kind of like an extra one. So the breadcrumbs are mutually exclusive. But that's it. They don't disable the entire chain. The badge? Oh, it's nothing. Fish. Nothing you could handle anyhow. By the looks of you, I'd say Matthias is likely to mistake you for the cheese delivery boy or girl instead of a proper rogue. Regardless, I've been assigned a job, and I've made a promise to deliver on that job. Speaking of which, deliver this package to Matthias, and he may give you a small task or two. Get cracking. Can I help you, rogue? You found me, and by looking at you, I'd say the run and subsequent search may have been a great strain on your system, both mentally and physically. Would you like Renzik to show you the way to an inn, or are you ready for some work? And that lets us see. I'm going to continue right now. The SI7 path, which is SI7 and snatch and grab, that's actually not. That's a higher level 16, which takes you. It's a totally different quest chain that opens up some different stuff. It takes you to SI7 and then ultimately snatch and grab. So it's a little bit weird when you have this. It's all of these things are not exactly the same, but we'll look at those because you can't get those until a higher level. Now the Apple Falls is the Darnassus path. So we're going to go ahead and look at the Apple Falls, which is the breadcrumb for Darnassus. They say I'm love struck, whatever that means. Sure, I spend my every waking moment thinking about Sierna. Sure, my home is full of paintings and drawings of Sierna. Sure, I often go days without eating, sleeping, or drinking while I lament about the love we could have had. That's so wrong. Now she won't see me. Me! I've tried sending her messages, but she won't even talk to another person unless they're a rogue. Could you deliver this flower to her? Don't forget to tell her it's from Janok. Oh, isn't this wonderful? You've brought flowers for your own funeral. Had I saved every flower that Dolt Janok sent me, I would have had the means to open a shop. Regardless, it seems as if Janok's latest courier may prove useful. Interested in some work, rogue? So if you look at the Destiny Calls one, oh, not Destiny Calls. See, it says it unlocks Destiny Calls, but yeah. So it's kind of weird the way that this works. And we might have messed up. Maybe the Horde. Yeah, it's weird. The Dwarf one is level 10. Okay, so let's look at Destiny Calls. This is the main. Yeah, I don't know. So this is the quest you would then pick up in. This is how you get your Blade of Cunning as a Night Elf. We believe there's one being that may be able to help us understand what's happening to the forests of Teldrassil. Unfortunately, getting the creature to cooperate has proven disastrous. He hides on a branch at the outskirts of the Oracle Glade. All who have so far approached the satyr, whether through force or diplomacy, may have met with doom. Perhaps stealth is the answer? Find what Sathir the Ancient carries in his packs and report back to me. So all of these, you're basically also stealthing and using pickpocketing because the mobs are like really crazy powerful. So if you find yourself getting owned by these guys, it's because you're supposed to stealth and pickpocket. That's how the rogue quests work. You get like enemies that are situations that are completely nerfed against certain rogue skills, and then they're like impossible without them. Have you anything to report from Sathir the Ancient? This is grim news. It would seem that the sickness which has gripped the forests and rivers of Darkshore has begun to taint our home. You've served us well, but there's nothing more you can do here. Take this blade as a reward for your service to Teldrassil. Alright, so we're missing something in there because, like for instance, if you look at SI7, that's 16. But seek out SI7 is, no, look at Arion Shade Whisper, that's a 16. So I'm trying to find out where's the human version of this. Snatch and grab. Okay, so where's snatch and grab? So I missed snatch and grab. There it is. But see, I have this as saying that it is 16, but if you look at it, it's not. This is the 10. So let me move that around. This needs to be... So we're going to go ahead. This should be here. Insert cells and shift down. So snatch and grab needs to be up there. And it's really level 10. And so that one was a small mistake. It was very hard to complete that path correctly. So seek out SI7 opens up snatch and grab. So this is the human rogue. Now I guess for gnomes, maybe that's Ironforge path. So that gives us our 3 capitals. And then Horde only has 2 capital paths because Tauren can't be rogues. Okay. So when you do snatch and grab to get your dagger from the human, so you could get 3. Our operatives in the field are reporting heavy Defius activity south of Goldshire. The reports indicate that the Defius have taken over Gerard's Landing and are now using it as a way to smuggle large quantities of contraband from Redbridge to Westwall. I need you to infiltrate the dock house and get me that shipping schedule. You will probably find it buried deep in the pockets of the dock master. And should you be discovered, SI7 will disavow all knowledge of your existence. So on the rivers that we did when we did our Elwyn Forest level, there's a small dock house. We haven't actually gone there yet. We will go back there because in addition to this quest, your mortality wanes with every moment you waste loitering in the barracks, rogue. I am astonished that Karen finally found a recruit that could possibly have the makings of a proper rogue. Take this blade. A day will come when you'll be called upon again to serve the SI7. Hone your skills, keep your eyes open, and blade sharp. You won't see us coming, but you'll feel it when we get there. Now, the reason why we will go there a lot more, even though we're not rogues, is because that's the best grinding spot for drop rate if you want to find the Westfall quest that makes you... it drops the deed. It's one of the drop quests for Westfall, but that's how you pick it up. All right, so that's all of our Alliance rogue paths. So let's look at Horde. So there's Menet, Karkad, or Thurzok. So we're going to just look at Menet, Karkad. So this appears to be the Undercity quest, and Thurzok is the breadcrumb quests, because this leads into the Deathstalker, so it's a slightly long path, whereas Thurzok leads into the Shattered Hand path. So we'll read these, and then that's it. We'll walk around for a second before we look at Warlocks. Not quite what I was expecting, considering Karkad himself has taken an interest to you. Looks can be deceiving, though, right? Either way, you should go see him as soon as possible. You wouldn't want to know what happened to the last few that chose to ignore his summons. No doubt you made your way here at first mention of my summons. Yes, of course, I would expect no less from a prospective Deathstalker, because that's what you'll be, I guess, if you're a Forsaken rogue, from a lore perspective. You get this letter of introduction. Is there an actual letter we can read? I don't know how you read these. Sometimes you can get them and then read the letters, but oh well. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. All right, so Deathstalkers has 4 steps. They're all called Deathstalkers. And again, if you took Thurzok first, you could still bop over here and do it, or come complete it secondly, so you can get 2 knives as a rogue, which we did both of these chains with Talanji, if you want to go back and watch the videos of us actually playing through them. If you wish to join the Deathstalkers, Lord Varamathras' elite guard, you'll have to prove your worth. I will not lie to you, this task could mean your death. I have some things that need attending to. I require the personal effects of Aster Hadron, a messenger who travels between Silverpine and the Undercity. I'll leave the method of procurement to your discretion. It will be better for you if you know less of the nature of this business. Succeed and I shall tell you more. Success to report? Well done. You've passed the first part of this test. Hopefully, Andron will not have caught wind of your activities and will be able to convince him that you are, in fact, the messenger he's expecting. The next step says, the letter of introduction should be enough to convince Andron that you are the messenger he's been waiting for. I've met Andron before. He doesn't quite have the mental capacity to be that suspicious. Lord Varamathras suspects that Andron has been providing aid to some other group. He wishes to know what organization this is and requires proof of it. I want you to speak with Andron and obtain this information. You'll find him at his shop near the Apothecarium. Hello, something I can do for you? Ah, yes, I've been expecting you. I have no doubt our mutual acquaintances are pleased with the information that I have provided so far. I suppose there's no point in asking you. I doubt they would burden you with this knowledge. We place so much trust in the messenger. Okay, the third Deathstalker step says it would give us Andron's ledger. You find the ledger with the information your employers seek on the bookshelf behind me. Deliver it with my regards and tell them that I would prefer if they sent you, if they find enough value that they should wish to continue our arrangement. Success? Well, this is certainly more information than I suspected to get out of Andron. Give me a moment to peruse it before I set you to your next task, which is the final one and how you would get this dagger. The Syndicate, I would never have suspected. It seems the Lords of Alterac have fallen far in the years since their betrayal. Lord Varamathras will be pleased to learn of this, and as you were so instrumental in this discovery, it would be fitting if you were the one to deliver it to him. And how could I forget? Welcome to the Deathstalkers. Yes. This is interesting. The Deathstalkers have performed their duties admirably in ferreting this out. From what I understand, you also deserve commendation for your performance. I hope this will become routine for you. My Deathstalkers have always have use of a good man. Okay. So that just leaves Thurzok, the orc/troll version in Razor Hill. When you pick this up, it says, lower your voice. Yeah, I know your name. Was told to keep an eye out for an orc by your description. Oh, this is orc only? What about rogue? From what I've heard about you, you can handle yourself in combat and aren't opposed to a little sneakery from time to time. Am I right? Anyways, you should go see Thurzok and Orgrimmar. He's got an offer for you to hear. Very good. I'm glad Kaplak was able to get a hold of you. We have some things to speak of, not the least of which is your future with the Hand. And the Shattered Hand is only 2 quests. The War Chief is too subtle in his methods. He is cautious to unleash the might of the Horde. Once we were stronger, mighty conquerors all. That pride we must regain, and the Shattered Hand will do so. We build strength from the shadows and strike at the exposed, secretly laying our enemies low. A task you must complete for me to prove your worth. The troll Tazen trades with the pirates near Ratchet. He has information I must have. Kill him and bring me a satchel. Again, we did this online. It's a guy walking kind of in the pirate area past Ratchet. You have to pickpocket him. It is a fool who believes a charge with axe drawn is more dangerous than a knife in the dark. Well, I'm glad to hear that Tazan is no longer with us. A locked satchel does us no good. We need the information kept within. This should prove a worthy second challenge for one who wishes to join the Shattered Hand, so I guess you're also using the lockpicking. I'll leave it to you to get Tazan's satchel open and return to me with its contents. The locking mechanism is complex, so it would probably be easiest if you obtained the key. If you didn't find it on Tazan's body, I can only assume that he left the key in the care of another. Ah, yes, that's right. He had an assistant named Gamon, a drunkard. You'll most likely find him at the tavern. Perhaps you could quietly relieve him of the key. Here's the pickpocketing part. Is it not vexing to have the subject of your desire within your grasp, but to have no way of getting it? Now this is interesting. You more than proved your worth with this. I'm quite impressed. Consider yourself the newest member of the Shattered Hand, and take this. It will be a great help to you in the future, I think. All right, so we'll take a small break here, as we only have 2 left to do. And before we go all about doing this, remember, we do have the Call of Fire quest, where we have to find Cranial Fissure. Cranial Fizz. So it's actually up here, and so we're going to be making our way out of Mulgore, and we'll at least make the first step over. We haven't been to Thunder Bluff yet, so we are really kind of only doing 1/2 right now. But we're going to go ahead and take a little walk, at least for the first leg of the journey, which will take us to Camp Tarajo, and we will get the flight path there and all that good stuff. We'll just rest assured that we can Hearthstone back here when we're all done with our Call of Fire. But it's worth it. It's always good to do your class quests as soon as possible if you want to maximize the benefit of doing them, because you'll usually get a power. But just as often, especially in higher levels, you'll get a nice item instead. The sooner the better you get it, because otherwise, if you wait till it's easy, the item will have tamed out. You know what? As we walk, let's look at the next one. So, Warlock quests, if you notice, there's only 3. However, they are separated by race. So we're going to start with Galkin's Summons. Welcome to my life on how I write this. I guess I Type this in wrong. But what I do is I end up like doing my spreadsheet while I do these long walks. That's okay. Gakin summons. There's no L. Here we go. Edit in real time. That's okay. All right. So this would be the human quest line for this. It's a 3-quest line. So this is how humans or gnomes can get their warlock. Now these are mutually exclusive, and in the worst way. Questy bugs out, and it will not remove them from your Questy log. So it's a very painful. It will never go away. If you're a warlock, you'll always have the other version. Now for the Alliance, dwarves cannot, night elves cannot. So these two are kind of stuck. These two chains. So isn't that how it always works? Was looking for you all day and couldn't find you. Now when I'm not expecting it, you come and walk right up to me. I wasted enough time trying to find you, so I won't delay you any longer. Master Gakkins summoned you for additional training. Seems to me you should seek him out as soon as possible. You'll find him in the basement of the Slaughtered Lamb Tavern. By the way, you might want to keep that particular location quiet. Don't want word spreading about it. About time you showed up, though perhaps I should have sent someone more capable than Remen to find you. No matter, we've gone too long without training, and a warlock without training isn't like to keep his head on his shoulders for long. Okay, step 2 is called Serena Caledon. If you look at the quest, you'll see that. And both the... if we go back and look here, the gnome version will take us into Serena Caledon. So if you look at the other quest, the Slaughtered Lamb is a slightly different version of this quest. We can actually look it up. And this is why it's kind of weird, because this is the one you pick up an Ironforge, but it sends you over to Gakkin. And maybe you could pick up both if you picked them both up before you submitted them. So if you really want to be a completionist, try picking them both up. But once you complete the chain, you definitely can't do this. I can tell you that for a fact. My warlock that I've done this on right now has the Slaughtered Lamb quest sitting on Questy, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's a little bit sad for us. Okay, so we have a flight path.
Treat the Windrider well as it takes.
Oh, and we have been to Thunder Bluff, so we could fly back to Thunder Bluff if we need. What we're going to need to do next is walk over to the crossroads. So we'll continue to walk and talk. All right, so the Slaughtered Lamb says, times past, all warlocks in Cosmodon were trained under the auspices of the Masters of Nomergon, but now that we've all been forced to relocate into this rat's hole in Ironforge, Magni's decided to keep a careful watch on us. We are forced to send our novices to Stormwind for training. Luckily, Gakkin's no slouch, so you'll still learn what you need to know, but it burns my blood. Anyway, you'll find Gakkin in the basement of the Slaughtered Lamb in Stormwind. Sent by Blackwrench, were you? Damn warlocks in Ironforge need to get things sorted out. There's only so much room and so many teachers in Stormwind. With all the increased traffic, we're sure to attract attention sooner or later. Okay, so now we'll head back, because then they come up together. And the Serena Caledon and the Binding, these are just like they've dovetailed together, and you can only go to these two quests. I had a student named Serena Caledon. She stood where you stand now, eager to learn of warlock magic and possessing no small bit of talent. More than that, she was young and pleasing to the eye. Had I seen it then, the traitorous Trollop. The thieving wench ran off with one of the defious, Erlin Drudgemore. While her loss is of little importance, I gifted her a bloodstone choker that I must have. Her life means nothing to me now. You will find her at the Brackwell Pumpkin Patch. Retrieve what is mine. She's the warlock that you fight when you do the Collector, the Manhunt quest that we did on camera a couple episodes ago. Even the older and wiser can be unmanned by the wiles of youth and beauty. A piece of advice you would do well to remember throughout your life. Serena was talented, but not enough to gain mastery of warlock magic on her own. It's a shame to see her talent wasted, but sometimes it is necessary. I hope my investment in you will bear different results, and the Binding is the name of the quest, regardless if you're Horde or Alliance, but obviously the text is a little different. And this is how you learn your Voidwalker, which is what you get at level 10 as a Warlock. By retrieving my choker and besting Serena, you've proven that you're at least as capable as she was. With that said, I can tell you're direly in need of training. You can manage the flows of magic, yes, but being a warlock is much more than that. I will show you how to command a Voidwalker, but before I can, you must call one forth at a summoning circle and subdue it using whatever weapons, physical and magical, you have at your disposal. Use the magic of this choker at the summoning circle below. And then I cannot show you how to control a Voidwalker until you have overtaken one. You did better than I expected, but as well as I'd hoped. Now you can learn to command your subjugated Voidwalker, an ally you'll find valuable in the trials that are sure to stand before you. I have nothing more to teach you at the present, but I am far from done with you. Okay. So that's how it goes for the Alliance, and the only other versions you would get are if you want to do the other ones. So we did Gaken's summons and the Slaughter Lamb. Now let's look at Halgar's summons. Okay, so this is if you wanted to do the Horde, and this is you starting as a Forsaken. I just received word from Kerendon Halgar that he would like to see you for further training. You should be proud of yourself. It's not every day that Master Halgar personally sees fit to instruct a young warlock. You'll be able to find him in the magic quarter of the Undercity near the Temple of the Damned. Good, I see Agaron managed to find you. Let us waste little time with small talk and pleasantries and focus on your training. There's still much you have to learn. And you'll get Creature of the Void, which instead of Serena Caledon, and then the Binding again. But before we do that, let's look at the other version, which is called Gun Rules Summons. So we're going to go ahead and peek at this. Gun Rules Summons. Okay, opens the same path. Maybe they are different, actually. Let's duplicate this. Because I wonder... Because if you look at this Creature of the Void, this is the Undercity version, and I wonder if they are different. How's our travel? We're almost at the crossroads. Okay, so Gunrul Summon says, you there, right? I hope your schedule isn't busy because Gunrul wants to see you right away. You'll find him with the senior warlocks in the Cleft of Shadow. Based on my past dealings with Gunrul, your summons is either a very good thing or a very bad thing. Good. I was afraid Ofak wouldn't reach you. It is time that I further your warlock training. Any business you have currently will have to wait. I trust there will not be a problem with that. Something was chasing me, hence my life being low. Okay, we're almost there. Alright, so in the in the Orc one, we would go to the Creature of the Void. Yeah, so it is two different. Unlike with the Alliance, Horde Warlock, so gnomes don't have good trainers, but I guess the others do. So in the Undercity, it seems that the consensus that you're ready to learn to summon a Voidwalker, a being created of the chaos that lies beyond. If you summon one but cannot control it, you will be torn asunder. The first Voidwalker summoned by Egaline and was summoned, and in his grimoire is the process explained. Unfortunately, it was stolen by an agent of the Scarlet Crusade, who secreted it away in his base at a tower to the west. Bring it to me, and I will import the knowledge to you. Egaline was the teacher that taught me. With hardly a look, he was able to command the Voidwalker he had summoned. When it came to my turn to try, I was overconfident. Do not trifle with the powers that you wield. They can consume even the vigilant. This is excellent. Like as not, Perrin was ignorant of the true power of the musty book he had stolen from us. It will not fall out of our hands again. Observe the structure of the spell, the manner in which your power must be channeled. All right, now we've picked up our crossroads.
My riders are trained to fly quickly.
Getting a nice couple, crossing some other birds, multiple birds instead. Now we have to go up a little bit still along this road because we have to find Cranel Fiss. Although to me, every time I see that name, I think Cranel Fissure. That's just my super level of maturity. Alright. In the Horde, in the Orgrimmar, so few warlocks remain, we risk much, but the risks are warranted. You must quickly reach maturity in your ability if you're able to be of use to the Horde and to the War Chief. It's time that you learned a new summoning spell. First, you must recover the Tablet of Virgo, which was stolen by warlocks of the Burning Blade and is now kept at their lair in Skull Rock to the east of the city. With the tablet, I'll show you the runes necessary to summon a Voidwalker. Do you have the Tablet of Virga? If not, I do not wish to speak with you until you do. Good, I hope you inflicted some other losses on the Burning Blade when you went to retrieve this. They've been a source of great annoyance for the War Chief and a great blight upon warlocks as a whole. Cool. Good to know. And then finally, the binding for each. The Forsaken say, surely you have seen the circle of summoning below us. Only there will you be able to draw forth an unbound Voidwalker. Using these runes, you'll be able to draw it forth, and then you must dominate it through strength of arms and magic. When it is subdued, it will be indentured to you. Come to me then, and I will elucidate the spell of summoning, so may it serve you to whatever end you wish. I expect to hear of your success. Not meeting my expectations will be the least of your worries, however, should you fail. You've done well. Now I will impart to you the spell used for summoning the Voidwalker. The power that it has unleashed upon you is now yours to command. Use it wisely. Okay, we're almost to our guy. He's like in that tower, I think. Okay, and meanwhile, if you go as an orc, or if you just go through Orgrimmar, because again, it's capital tide, not race tide. Now observe the Tablet of Virga, for it contains the glyphs you need for the summoning. Take them to the circle in Niru Fireblade's tent on the other side of the cavern. There you'll be able to call for the Voidwalker. You must defeat it using whatever physical and magical means you have at your disposal. When this is completed, return to me with the glyphs of summoning. I will demonstrate how you may bind the creature to your will. The Voidwalker is a powerful creature. I remember when it was I that was in your shoes. Over the years, my own Voidwalker has grown to fight me less, though I suspect that it is only because it hopes I will let my guard down. Remember that. Uh-oh. This is a level 13 raptor. It's not undoable. Okay, good. We are now safe. I don't think there's a shop in there. So we'll talk to him in just a second. You have done well. I will show you how to summon the Voidwalker similar to the one you just defeated. You should know that we have high expectations for you, and you have so far matched them. Do not let it go to your head, however, as the tasks that still lie before you will make this seem as simple as waking in the morning. Alright, so let's open up the final thing. We've done them all except Warrior. And at level 10, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different possible quests, but they kind of go, they don't all have 6. So we're going to begin with looking at a warrior's training. So, whoops, that's not what we want to do. So we're going to pick up a warrior's training. This is the Alliance Horde version. This unlocks the quests Vezrak and Vorlis Vilehoof, which are the quest 2. So just like with Warlock, it's tied to your capital you pick it up in, and all classes can do it. So if you do the first one, it will open up these others. So we're going to open up these others in 2 new tabs. Then we're also going to duplicate this tab, and we're going to go over and we're going to look up the Horde version, because this gives us, well, darn, Vorlis. Yeah, see, that picks up these second steps down here. You know what? Ouch. Let's get off all that. So it's kind of weird because I see they're not all the same. Okay. I gotcha. So it disables Illinaria and Merlin Stormpike. So we're going to open Illinaria in a new path and Merlin Stormpike in a new path. So the Merlin Stormpike is the Ironforge line, and the Illinaria is the Darnassus line. Okay. So then we're also going to look at Veteran Uzek. There is also Murin Stormpike. So there should be 6. So I missed one of these. Oh, I see. Murin Stormpike is the dwarf. All right, so let's duplicate this tab now. We're going to look at whichever one we said here. We've also got Veteran Uzek. Maybe I missed one, because I don't see. All right, so Veteran Uzek unlocks, duplicates Speak with Dillinger. So what I'm wondering is, I guess maybe the Veteran Uzek, so maybe because of the Farwatch posting, maybe the Tauren just don't get their own. So that's, yeah, so that must be what it is. There's no Tauren version, because the Tauren, by the time you're at level 10, as we're already seeing, they all kind of dovetail. So there are essentially 5 quest chains for the warrior, which is what makes it so long. So over back on our journey of walking, we could pick up Cranial Fists. We could talk to him.
Narm sent you to me, did he? Well then, Narm could always be trusted, so that must mean you're ready to take part of the next Sapta, the Sapta of Fire. I see it in your eyes already, the burning, the desire. You've tasted power and now you're ready for more of it. Patience, adventurer. Remember what Earth taught you. Power and destruction will come easily, but you must still know when to stay your hand.
Okay, so we're learning.
You are powerful enough to wield the Totem of Fire, but that does not mean you are ready. Along the South Fury River in Durotar, before the Great Sea, lies a hidden trail to one of the highest peaks in the land. Find your way to the top, and you shall find one of our holy shrines watched over by Telf Julam, the Shrine of the Dormant Flame. Take this torch to him. It marks that you attempt to tame fire. Return it to me aflame by the brazier at the shrine, and I will see you are given the Totem of Fire.
Okay, so step 2 on this Totem of Fire, it does make you want to go over to the river. So we'll kind of take a little walk as we read to get closer. Okay, so first let's look at the step 1 for each of them. So if you wanted to be a Stormwind warrior, you've shown yourself to be a competent warrior, but you're still young and have a lot to learn. Speak with Harry Burlgard. He's usually in the Pig and Whistle Tavern in the old town of Stormwind. Harry's an old veteran and a good teacher. He can show you a few moves that'll keep you breathing longer. Oh, have a drink with me, lad. You look tough on the outside, but let's see if your gut can handle a few mugs of the Pig and Whistle's strongest. Or were you here for a lesson? Okay, so again, you could do anything. You could cross and crisscross, but that leads into the Bartleby the Drunk chain, which is step 2. Okay, now Elenaria, this is if you were a warrior starting in Teldrassil. Greetings, warrior. Your skill grows, but there's still more to your profession than you may believe. To further progress, you must soon find a teacher. The warrior Elenaria dwells in Darnassus at the Warrior's Terrace, and she can instruct you. I bid you greetings. Your name rings loudly in Darnassus, for you show promise, but we shall soon see if you possess the strength and will to follow the path of the warrior. Okay. So she will open up the Vorlis Vilehoof path, and that's boom. So to be a night elf, this is the quickest way to do it. It just bam bam in 2 steps gets you the path of defense. So pretty easy if you're looking for a short one. Murren Stonepike if you're going to be Ironforge. Hello, warrior. You show a lot of promise, but you still need to learn some tricks, and Murren Stormpike is just the dwarf to teach you. You can find Murren at the Hall of Arms in the military ward of Ironforge. Talk to him when you're ready to learn what it is to be a warrior. Ah, I hear the warriors of Dun Morog bouncing your name around. I hope you haven't spent all your time in the breweries. And that opens Vezrek. Okay, so we need to kind of... We don't want to be, like, right up on the river. Because it's over here, but we need to be ready to, like, travel. There's gators in these waters, too. So technically we need to be on that side. The mobs are low over there, but we'll stay in here. Okay. Now from the Horde side, Veteran Uzek is if you picked it up in, but if you wanted to do your Orgrimmar path. The Horde honors its warriors because their strength is unquestioned, but the truly great warriors are great students as well. Seek out Uzek. He's a veteran of many battles and now instructs young warriors in the ways of combat. You'll find him south of Farwatch Post, the Orc garrison on the border of the Barrens and Durotar to the east. Hello, young one. Here for some instruction, are you? And that will open up the path of defense spell, which is... It gives you this. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. This is danger water. How did it go? I'm going across now because these guys are at least lower level. And you need to be on this side of the river because there's the path right there. If you're looking for this, the hardest part about the Path of Fire quest is finding that path right there. Alright, and then if you were a Forsaken, I was told Deathguard Dillinger has a job for someone like you. If you're willing to show your value to the Dark Lady's forces, then report to Dillinger immediately. And you can see the little stone right there. Deathguard Dillinger's post is on the west end of Brill near the graveyard. Level 9 right there. Shrine of the Dormant Flame. Now we have to kind of navigate this little path. You can slightly see different texture on the path. There's no... We got to be safe on this path as it winds around. Could be a little annoying. Again, this is by far the hardest. To me, well, I wouldn't say this is the most annoying because the water quest has you going like all around the world. So this one, I'd rather do this than that. So water is more annoying. Okay, we'll give water the prize. But this path right here makes makes this quest annoying. All right, we found him. So just stick. Kind of you saw. Okay, Death Guard Dillinger's post is on the west end of Brill near the graveyard. You're here for a mission. Good, I have an important one and one that will test your skill in combat and your resolve in the defense of the Forsaken. You will unlock Ulag the Cleaver. Now, what's weird if you look at hers, I see, we do have the Shade of Allura. Do I have that as a quest that unlocks? I do. It just doesn't chain out the same way. Okay, so step 2 for the Alliance. We'll go ahead and read the second step for each of them. Is Bartleby the drunk? Yeah, I can teach you, but first I want to see what moves you have already. See that drunk over there at the end of the bar, Bartleby? I want you to get his mug. And if you know Bartleby, then you know he won't just give it to you. Hello, fancy boy. What's a prissy thing like you doing in the Pig and Whistle? Be careful, or you might break a nail. Now, here's the difference in the others. Look at this one. We do not get Path of Defense, but if we get beat Bartleby, that will open up this next chain. That still doesn't give you Path of Defense. So it's the longest chain comes from the Alliance, because then you get beat Bartleby. You want what? You're crazy. The only way you'll get this mug is if you pry it from my cold dead fingers. So he says that twice. You're a lot tougher than you look, which then opens Bartleby's mug, and that's how you get the Path of Defense as the human. Okay, here's my mug. Wait, let me finish what's in it first. There we go. I saw your fight with Bartleby. Nicely done. Did you get his mug? There it is. He sure didn't want to part with it, but you were persuasive. Well done. Now for your lesson. So they will teach you defensive stance, sunder, armor, and taunt by doing on all of that. And then that also unlocks this Marshal Haggard, because you're not done. You have a second piece when you are the Horde, when you're whatever. So you would unlock Marshal Haggard in this path, which is still the level 10 thing, but this gives us something different. Maybe it's gear. Usually it's gear for a warrior. Okay, so Vorlis Vilehoof is, again, the Alliance version. I mean, the Darnassus version. Before I can teach you, you must show me your resolve. The satyr Vorlis Vilehoof has found one of our remote moonwells southeast of the Benethel Barrow Den. He now splashes within it, defiling its pure waters with his filth. Find Vorlis the Moonwell and destroy him. Bring me his horn as proof, and I will begin your advanced training as a warrior. The path to the Moonwell is hidden well, but stay focused and alert, and you'll find it. Do you have the horn? Is our Moonwell free of the fiend Vorlis? Well done. It's good to know Vorlis is defeated and our Moonwell is cleansed, and it's good to see the young warriors eager to help our beloved Teldrassil free of corruption. Now let us begin your training. So that opens up the Shade of Allura. So that kind of opens up this path. So these are a little bit off because I didn't exactly understand how it's going. Like, these should have been bumped down one. Really, it's the beat Bartleby that should have been kind of put on its own tier. So Vezrek is the dwarf one. If you want to rise in the ranks of the warriors, then you better be tough. I can teach you new moves, but before that, prove to me you can handle yourself against real foes. Vezrek is the toughest troll you'll find in these parts, and he's who you have to beat. He has a hut in the foothills just south of Frostmane Hold. Bring me Vezrek's head, and I'll know you have metal. Have you been to Vezrek's hut? Is that troll stink I smell on you? Vezrek sure was an ugly one, eh? Nicely done. You have what it takes. Now let's start your lesson. You may not know it, but a strong defense is very important to a warrior. It keeps him standing against foes that would fell others, and that's what your allies need most, which will then open up Tormus Deepforge, the second half of this chain. Path of Defense is simply the name of the Path of Defense quest if you were coming out of Orgrimmar. As a warrior, one of our most crucial tasks is protection. We are the shield of the Horde, and we keep our weaker brethren safe. If you are to join in our ranks, then you must prove your mettle to me. Go to Thunder Ridge and Durotar, where live the lightning hides and thunder lizards. Hunt the beasts. Show me you are tougher than they. Brave their assaults and bring me a stack of their singed scales as proof. Do this, and then I will teach you. Do you have the scales? Unless you can withstand the attacks of the thunder lizards, you will not benefit from my instruction. I see you have defeated the thunder lizards, which proves you are tough. Now I show you how Tough skin and shrewd movements can combine to form an impenetrable wall of defense. Learn your lesson well and be ready for future instruction. And finally, as the Forsaken. When the Scourge swept through the Tristful Glades, we captured one to study. He had a free mind and called himself Ulag the Cleaver, but although his will was free, he was still enthralled by the Lich King. We hoped to find a way to break the King's control over Ulag, but we failed. Now finally it is time to free him and kill him. Activate the Skull Stone trigger near the mausoleum to the north. This will lift the magical seal that binds him, then be ready. Shows you a picture of that happening there. Your task is yet undone. It's not wise for a warrior to show fear. Well done. Ulag was no minor agent of the Scourge. You've shown the Death Guards and hence the Dark Lady that you are a warrior of skill and resolve and are worthy of further instruction. So, the second half of this is really, I believe, getting some gear, but let's go ahead and find out what he says.
Greetings, Glee Console. You found yourself at the Shrine of the Dormant Flame. Only those knowledgeable enough in the shamanistic arts will ever learn the secrets of this place and the power it holds. I'm sorry you made this trip all this way only to be turned back now. The journey up here is far from safe after all. But I am the keeper of the shrine, and I cannot allow just anyone to wander around here.
Ah, my mistake, adventurer. I apologize. I did not realize you possessed the torch. I am pleased to make your acquaintance. Many adventurers find their way here while looking for lost treasure, or the promise of mystical creatures to slay, only to be turned away from a seemingly empty shrine. But we know the truth, do we not, adventurer? This shrine holds a greater secret from the mundane members of the Horde. To us it is sacred. But you did not come here for a history lesson, did you? You came for the eternal flame and fire totem. The first step is to create a Sapta and bind you to the flame. I can create the fire Sapta for you if you bring me 2 items. The first is fire tar, a simple item usually carried by Razormane spellcasters in Eastern Barrens. The second item will be more dangerous, a reagent pouch, from one of the cultists of the Burning Blade. You can find them in a cave above the ravines northeast of Razor Hill.
Alright, so this is the tough part for us, getting the reagent pouch. Very specific cave we need. And getting the fire tar. I actually want us to get the reagent pouch. These are 10 to 11. These are 12 to 13. Or 10 to 11. So we're gonna go ahead for the reagent pouch first. Alright, so we have to make our way back down technically. Because if we go on this side, Sarkoff? Oh, that's a Duratar. Was it? I think you can actually use this path if you ever want a shortcut to jump into the Valley of Trials, FYI. I don't know why you would ever necessarily want to, but maybe if you were Alliance or something like that, or if you were not doing Valley of Trials first, which we will be doing that soon. That's actually, Duratar is our next zone. We'll do that before we do Tristful. So, we still have stuff to do here, but yeah. So now we need to basically make our way over to the road. Yeah, I know. Get off me, bum. Alright, and let's read as we walk, just like we did last time. Just hope we live. Okay, so, Marshal Haggard. So now that we've learned the path of defense, what can we do? What are we going to get? Yeah, I want to get us to a road because we're a little bit low to be playing around in any zone. Well, 10 is not exactly not exactly anything worth writing home about. Okay. You've learned a few moves, but you could still use a decent weapon. I bet if you spoke with Marshal Haggard, he could help you. Marshal Haggard lives in a manor in Elwyn Forest in the Eastvale lumber camp. He's retired now, but he collected a lot of gear during his career. Let him know I sent you, and with luck, he'll have a spare weapon to offer. Cool. Okay. We're going to go ahead and read both the full chains for these. Who's that? Burlguard. Is that you? You'll have to step a little closer. My eyes aren't what they used to be. Walking up like that, I thought you were a gnoll. Your mom's a gnoll. Alright. And then that opens up Dead Tooth Jack. Burlguard. Ouch, get off me, bro. Burlguard sent you, did he? Yes, I have spare weapons around here, but first I have a task for you. A while ago, Defius villain Deadtooth Jack tricked me. It was dark and he was wearing a Stormwind tabard, and I thought he was Marshal Dugan. That's the guy from Goldshire. He said he needed my old Stormwind Marshal's badge, and I gave it to him. Then he laughed and ran off before I could catch him. Get back my badge. Deadtooth Jack probably has a stone in his camp to the south. This is the only reason why you'd have to kill Defius down there. Do you have my badge? I don't want to think of the mischief Deadtooth Jack could cause with it. A guy named Deadtooth? That's just great. Great, you found it. I feared it was gone forever, used by the Defius to impersonate a Stormwind official. Well, that won't happen now thanks to you. Here are some weapons I used when I was a marshal. I kept them in great shape. Take your pick. And you can choose between Haggard's 4 different weapons. An axe, a hammer, a dagger, or a sword. They're all one-handed green weapons. So the axe is, they all give +1 stamina. The only difference would, I guess, be the type and the fact that the damage is slightly off, but they're so close. The axe is just a pinch better if you really want best overall DPS. So now we found Razor Hill. That's great. The problem is that we need to get to the hills above this, and you actually have to do this a little bit differently. Alright, so we've completed the Stormwind line. Now the Shade of Illura is the Night Elf line. You have learned much. Now we will craft you a weapon. A warrior's weapon. So this is a little different than normal. You actually can't follow the road. You have to go above this. So be careful. Make sure you come out this gate. It can be very frustrating if you're trying to do this Call of Fire quest and you don't take this path. It's so easy to get lost, especially if you haven't been running around Durotar, because of the verticality. You have to stay on the path up here. And then it's actually way easy. To do this, you must travel to Darkshore. Long ago, a ship crashed upon the rocks near the Aberdeen Lighthouse. Many crates of Elunite ore are along the ocean floor. You can see them there. First, you must defeat the Elunite's guardian, the Shade of Illura. It's a ghost, as you can see. Once the ship's captain, she cursed herself to roam the deeps and protect her shipment for all time. Defeat her, gain her medallion, and gather the crates of lost Elunite. Okay, we're almost there. See, there's a cave up here. It's not any other place. Nothing else sends you here, so it can be confusing. Have you defeated the Shade of Illura, and do you have the lost Elunite ore? Bravely done. You have given the Shade of Illura much-deserved peace, and will use the gathered Elunite to make a fine weapon for you with Smith Malfield. Okay, so here we go. We are going to fight. These guys don't drop the thing. So we're going to try this. We use totems where need be, but this time we're going to try... Look, that guy just spawned. Someone must have just come to do this. We're just going to fight with Flame Shock, I guess. Oh, my maces. I guess my maces was lower? I don't know what I've been fighting with instead. But that's why I'm having a hard time in this fight. Because my skill with maces was not high enough. Okay. But luckily we're still pretty, like, we're already working on level 6 maces, so we should be already right up to stuff so fast. There you go. Now we're already starting to kill in the time it would take our flame shock to I don't know. Now I'm not as worried about the stone totem anymore. We can actually, if we want, while we're fighting a caster instead of the flame shock, maybe it would behoove us to save ourselves for the earth shock. You're hurting me. So just paying attention for that. There we go, just stopping them from casting. And cast a heal. So I think this is just a drop that you do. Our mana's low. So now I guess I will not use the flame shock while I'm using the lightning shield. Okay, so just keep this up and keep the lightning shield up instead. We just don't have the mana. Although we are slowly speccing in that. That extra mana will help us, and we'll get some extra intelligence. Because intelligence will become a really good stat for us. So again, we're gonna now flame shock these guys instead. That would really help us with our not having to worry about healing or anything like that. Come on. So I do need this. And I need this back on. Okay. My maces now are up to working on the 8th level. I don't know where these things are. Okay, so we'll just keep that lightning shield. I'm not even going to worry. This isn't even... I just killed this guy for no reason. I'm realizing that now. Yeah, that's nice. Didn't even get my whole thing off. Alright, so we are trying to kill someone. You will stop casting that. I will shock you with my earthy powers. Uh-oh. No. Ignorant. There is one. And he has a little imp. Let's put this back on. Okay. Okay, so we got the imp. Now I hope that we can get... Oh no. That's poop. I hear someone coming. Oh, it's his little imp. Take his imp down. Now get the heal back. Ugh. You are not cool, bro. No one thinks you're cool. Okay, I think if I just keep... I don't have the lightning shield up. My mana's just too low. I've got to really decide. I want to save it for this immolate. Come on. We're up to 40. I was gonna say, I think I'm getting close enough. Alright, so it looked like that was 100% drop rate. That's the good thing for us. Because this is a little bit at our extreme what we can handle. But we did that. So we got... and they said that's the hard part. But really, it's probably just hard because we have to make our way into a cave. Alright, so now we're going to walk back to Razor Hill. And then now we need the other part. We need the fire tar, which comes from back in the barrens from the bristleback quill boars that are right down there. All right. So Smith's Malthiel says, "I've placed the Elunite you gathered into a case. Take it back to the blacksmith Malthiel, and he will craft for you an Elunite weapon. Malthiel is to the south, on the other side of this building. Greetings, young warrior. How might my skills serve you?" Elunite ore. This is a fine metal to work with, for it is blessed by the goddess Elun herself. It would be an honor to craft weapons with it. Please wait while I work. And it unlocks weapons of Elunite. So there's actually one extra skill. Quest, I mean. Do we have there? Yeah, we do. Okay, so that's cool. So to make up for it, the Stormwinds don't get that extra thing, but... And this time, instead of Haggard, you're getting the Elunite axe, hammer, sword, dagger. But other than that, they're all exactly the same. Alright, so now we need to stay along the road as we make our way out. We're actually right at our hour, but I want us... We're so close to finishing, I just want to... I'll let us go over a little bit today. You know, we got stuff to do. Alright, so that's cool. We've done that. You'll be able to choose one. There's really nothing else. It's just to give you a separate quest for that. So that's if you did the Teldrassil path, the Darnassus path. Alright, so what about the Ironforge path? Tormus Deepforge. Now that you've learned some moves, it's time to get you a decent weapon. Speak with Tormus Deepforge. He can make you a weapon I'm sure you'll like. You'll find Tormus here at Ironforge at the Great Forge. Morin sent you, did he? Yes, I can make you a nice weapon, but before I do that, I have a favor to ask of you. Don't worry, it's plenty dangerous, and it could mean your death. It's exactly the sort of job a warrior wants. Okay, and he gives you Ironband's compound. My mentor, Sturgy Ironband, has a compound south of Helm's Bed Lake in eastern Dunmorog. There he taught blacksmithing, and he was the best. But one day, one of his students brought him a load of strange ore. Master Ironband called it umbral ore and was eager to work with it, but soon after it arrived, a band of dark iron dwarves attacked his compound. They killed everyone. Enter Ironband's compound and avenge my master's death and bring me the load of umbral ore that caused it. Have you entered Ironband's compound? Did you find the umbral ore? You found it. Well done. I hope you killed a host of dark iron dwarves while searching. I fear that Ironband's compound won't be the last place we see them. But thank you for the ore. I'm eager to work it and find its properties, and then you'll get, as a warrior for the dwarfs, or for Ironforge, a gray iron weapon. Here are some weapons, hot off the anvil and made with the new umbral ore you brought me. Please take your pick, and you can get the umbral axe, dagger, sword, or mace. So they have different names and different graphics. But other than that, they're exactly the same. They're all +1 stamina, green, about 7.6 DPS, and for all of them, the axe is got the slight edge. Okay, for the Horde, let's look at the Orgrimmar side. As a warrior, one of our most crucial tasks is protection. We are the shield of the Horde, and we keep our weaker brethren safe. If you're to join in our ranks, then you must prove your mettle to me. Oh, we already freaking read that. We're reading Thungrim Firegaze. Okay. It is vital that a warrior's weapon is one of quality, and if there's an orc who can craft quality weapons, then that orc is Thungrim Firegaze. He's a hermit who dwells atop the hills set east of Crossroads. So this person is trying to recruit me into their guild, but I'm actually already in it on my main horde. I'm like, this is my like video channel. So yeah, I mean, at least I guess I'll join for now. But I wasn't really planning on joining this guild because I was going to make my own, but I'll still do that. I just haven't done it yet. I'll do it eventually. Okay. So okay, so he is a hermit who dwells the hills atop east of if you seek a weapon warrior, then you should seek Thungrim. To find him, first travel to the crossroads to the west and strike east into the hills. His camp is on a hilltop. My eyes have long dried out from staring into the forge's flame, but some things I can still see. I can see you want something, and if you found your way here, then I can guess what you desire. So I think he's the guy that's like on the top of this mountain. He's kind of a little bit of a pain. Alright, and he will give you the Forged Steel quest, and he doesn't have a separate one. You just get... That's it, you just get Forged Steel. So before we read the Forged Steel, let's go ahead and kill. We need this fire tar. Let's get to killing, guys. I think it could be any of them that give it to us. No, I don't know. Resisted, I think. I don't want to pull that wolf. It is a pet. Okay, so he's like a caster, this Geomancer. He's also level 13. Oh, okay, that's fine. I thought I was 8 for a minute, but no, I'm... Now, it is still a little tough, and now I'm only at just level 9. They resisted. That stinks. I might die from that. Yep, that was the worst time for him to resist my... He resisted my interrupt. I should have war stomped. So that caused a death for Momkin, unfortunately. That stinks. We didn't have to fight the 13s either. We could have fought any of them. But I'll give you a weapon, but first you must aid me. The Razor Mains to the northwest came into my camp. The same ones we're killing right now. A few nights passed. They would not meet me in combat, but they know my eyes are bad. A few distracted me with snorts, while the others stole from me. The cowards. So annoying. They took an iron chest, and within it were some forged steel bars. If you can recover them, then I'll give you the weapon you seek. Search for the iron box within the Quillbar camps and return with the forged steel bars. There's actually some quests in there to kill anyway, so you can kind of multitask if you're actually clearing Baron's quests. It's just like a little, basically a stack right there on that. Do you have my steel bars? You found them, and all the bars are here, which doesn't surprise me. I don't think the Razor Mains would know what to do with fine steel like this. Thank you, here's your reward, may you serve it well, and you'll get Thungrim's stuff. Again, the axe, the mace, the dagger, or the sword, just as before. Alright, so then we just have the Forsaken, which is called Speak with Coleman. Let's res on this. Man, I really am bummed that I was annoying that I... What is going on at the crossroads? There's a ton of players dueling all over the place. Okay, let's try this again. Let's get my shield. Weapon back up. We're gonna try to fight this again. Do I have any drink? Oh, I do have some water. Let's drink some of my Wawa. I'll eat one of my roasted Coda meat too and get myself a well-fed buff. Obviously, I'm weak. I see a stinker coming to me. But look, they don't have the thing. So maybe we have to kill the Geomancers. You killed my father. How about you don't? Jerk. I'm gonna drop this. I need this. This time try not resisting. That'd be much appreciated. And they did. Okay, I shouldn't have used it that time, but come on. And we gotta be like full lightning power if we want this quest. And I have to be ready for them to resist. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm running out of mana. You didn't even give it to me? You suck! That one's only level 12. I'm gonna fight that one next time. I just need my life to come back. Come to Papa. Come closer to my little thingy. That's totally being inappropriate. Just because I wanted to come closer to my little thingy. Don't read into that. You were supposed to give me the stuff. You dirty, rotten scoundrel. Person spelled it wrong. And we're going over. You're making my poor viewers just suffer through a video that is too long. Why are you staying there? Very... They are really... I mean, he's just basically like waiting for me to... Guess whatever. I guess we'll die. Okay. Yay! 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 Alright, so now we gotta hit the road, and we have to go back to where we can go. The goal is to try... I like to try to complete these before we level up, but this is already just doing all this stuff, giving us like almost half a level. Alright, so you have proven your value to the Dark Lady. Now perhaps you can prove yourself to one of her subjects. Coleman Farthing awaits a warrior who's willing to be his instrument of revenge against the Forsaken's enemies. You'll find him in the Gallows End Tavern in Eastern Brill. Yes, it is true. I have a need for your skills in combat. My means are small, but my task aids both me and the Forsaken's cause. Do it, and your reward shall be twofold, and that will give us Agamond heirlooms. It's actually probably the most complex of all. And we have to kill 4 different things to get their different weapons, and then I think you get to pick one at the end. You get the heirloom weapon. It's kind of cool. The Agamond family were my employers in life, and they were the cause of my death. It is fitting that the Agamonds are now mindless minions of the Lich King. Now I would have their last vestiges of honor go into their family crypt and rob them of their family heirlooms, a sword, an axe, a dagger, and a mace, and bring them to me. Remember, we need to go across this kind of river here and go over there. The Agamond family crypt is at the north end of the Agamond Mills. Protected by lurking scourge and dead Agamons. Do you have the heirlooms? Ah, you retrieve them. Now the last semblance of honor and memory is stripped from the cursed Agamond lands. The Family truly is no more. And then you can pick an heirloom weapon. I will keep 3 of the weapons you return to me as mementos of my pain and loss, but please choose your favorite of the heirlooms and keep it for yourself. May it serve you greater than it served its cursed former owners. And you'll be able to choose from the heirloom axe, dagger, sword, or hammer again. +1 stam, green, and axe being the slightly best. Okay, so we'll take a kind of a preview. We have to walk back to that path now. We're going to kind of take a preview. I wish we had an instant, like a hot. I like those, but... So we're going to take a preview about what level we think we're going to need to check back in. I haven't done a lot of anything else other than make this episode today. Not a lot of free time. Mega busy at my life. Today was just insane. Yeah. So, and still no news. Nothing. I talked to my Connect at the HQ, the guy who I'm replacing, and we were kind of joking around in text, and he was basically kind of saying like I was doing some heavy lifting today, figuratively, and then he was like, well, this is all stuff that you can, you know, just bring all this up in your interview. And I was like, well, yeah, they need to schedule one with me first. And then he's like, well, I'm sure they will, but because his last day is on next Friday, so barely more than a week. And he's like, I'm sure they will, you know, but I'm not really part of that end on the HR end. So I've kind of tapped out. There's nothing more I can do other than just maybe they're like super vetting me or something. I don't know.
How you doing, man?
I have enough ingredients for a Sapta fire if you can find the reagent pouch on some fire tar. The Burning Blade fanatics carry the proper components for most of their spells in those pouches and usually have enough of the items I need that we will not have to search much farther for anything else. The Saptas are always made from the ingredients that are closely tied to their respective elements. Makes our work easier because of the Warlock's ties to fire.
These will do nicely, adventurer. Fire is more than chaos and destruction. Do well to remember that. It is also about life and creation. All things are tied together in such a way. Forces oppose one another, but at the same time one cannot exist without the other. Both extinguish one another, but also give one another meaning. Always remember
So
this.
weird.
Using different types of magic in conjunction with one another will show not only true skill, but great wisdom.
Their accent is worse than mine.
The fire Sapta is finished.
We
The
have
time
it.
has come for you to face the flame. Use the scepter at the shrine and head to the
Right
top
here?
of the mountain to face the manifestation there. He will not attack until you are ready, but he will realize you are able to see him. Strike him down swiftly, adventurer, for he shall only grow in power the longer you take to slay him. Once he is defeated, place his glowing embers within the brazier and light the torch.
Good to know. We are gonna...
Fire burn within your heart, adventurer. The elements await you.
Okay, so he gives you the fire sap to repeatable if you screw up as well. Let's buff it up, and now let's come drink our juice. Glug, glug. I like how it turns on. Now we have to go fight the big daddy one. And you know what he's not immune to? Fire! Oh, I lied. He was immune to fire. I should have known. I'm using my earth one. Oh, why did I not do that? I didn't interrupt him. That's okay. He seems to be going down. Why is he not? Come on. What is he doing? Like, he's immune to, like, all my magic. Thank goodness. That was... I wonder if he was immune to, like, melee or something. So now I have to take this ember and put it inside this little bird's nest. The brazier stands about a third your height and looks normal, save for the inscriptions along its smooth metal rails. The metal shows no signs of wear from the weather, and the bowl seated at the top of it feels warm to the touch. A white-hot flame ignites within the bowl as you place the ember within. You can feel the magical effects of the Sapta coursing through your body, and the fire dances rhythmically before you. You place the top of the torch within the basin, and it immediately catches on fire. Torch firmly in hand, you turn away from the brazier and look out over Durotar. You feel an excitement tugging at your spirit as the wind picks up and forces the flame to dance violently. You start off down the path back to the Barrens in search of Cranal Fizz. Cranal Fizz. So now we have to go back to Cranal Fizz. Okay, so we gotta make our way back. That guy has nothing more for us. That was a tough fight. I don't know what happened. Either I started missing nonstop. I mean, we're at 44, so we're not fully caught up. I didn't realize that we were so bad with our hammer. But we need to be good with it. Maybe I had dagger before. I don't know what. Staff. I probably used staff for a while. Oof. Retired the first time at 37. Yikes. People are talking about, I'm not retiring anytime soon. I had a career change about 10 years ago. And so I am 20 years out. It's not happening. Now, of course, you can do whatever, but either way you look at it, I'm about 20 years out, because I think it's around, what, 60? I think it's like you have to work for a company, at least in the state that I'm in, you have to work either 30 years or until you're 60. Whichever happens first, then you can be considered for retirement. And for me, those are like basically exactly the same. Ouch. Don't kill me, please. That thing is just... Don't kill me. Oh, when I barely survive like that. That guy says I can retire now. Yeah, it's just not happening. I can't even think about it. 20 years is such a long time, like, what's the point of even thinking about it? So I just gotta keep on... Just keep on pressing forward. And, my wife has got herself a real... So she makes a crap ton more than me. She makes about 40 grand more than me per year. And so even with this new raise that I'm gonna get, if everything works out, it's like a little bit more than 20 grand raise. She's still gonna be making almost 20 grand more than me. And there's just nothing I can do. I just don't know, or else whatever. This channel makes me famous, and I will be making lots of money from doing my Warcraft videos. So you guys, if you guys get all those subscribers and I can get some ads, then yes, I'll be up there. But other than that, nothing is gonna happen. It's just, I went to school 5 times longer than my wife. I work more hours, more days. Now, trade-off is, my job is numbers and figures. And her job is like life and death, so. I guess that's worth something. What is this? Oh, it's just how you turn it in. Cranal Fizz.
Thrall Hall.
Yes, Gleekonsul. What do you have there?
Your spirit burns brighter than any torch I've ever seen, adventurer.
Thank you.
And for that, you should be proud.
I am.
If you continue down this path, the elements will be yours to command. And our brethren will look to you for guidance and wisdom. Let me be the first to congratulate you and present to you your newest totem.
Thank you. Yay! We gained a new totem. That is awesome. So we have our new totem, and it gives us Searing Totem. So we have a fire totem now. So we can now drop, basically it's like a little fire turret. And it's nice. It helps you set up. So now we can dual have totems. And that's it. That's as good as it gets for us for right now. So we're gonna hearth back to, and we finished all the level 10s. Now, if you look at what we have, we'll check each level when we have each to level 11. So druids have 14. Mages get 15. It seems to be a possibility for some. Actually, no. So druids will have 14. They have a small chain at 14. And then at 15, mages have a small chain. 16 back to druids. Yeah, so basically we just have to check each time. And then once we hit certain thresholds, most wrap it up pretty soon. We may just have some in the 30s. Paladins have basically their mount quests. Priests have nothing. They have a few in 50s. Rogues kind of sprinkle on. But usually once you get to around the 30s, there's a big gap until you get into the 50s, except Warlocks. Warlocks just never stop. And Warriors are pretty dang close. But we at least know that we don't have anything else until we get to 14. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Alright, cool. So we have another episode in the pipe, 5x5. As always, I thank you for watching and for listening, and I can't wait till tomorrow's episode when we can start questing again. Thanks, everybody. See you next time on Lore of Warcraft. Peace.